Welcome back to LatiNation. I'm your host, Humberto Guida, and I love 90s alternative and grunge rock. I grew up on it. And up next, we catch up with a guy who literally had a front row seat to it all. He is renowned music photographer Chris Cuffaro, who's putting out his own greatest hits compilation, a book that celebrates the work of the veteran photographer, a guy who has captured timeless and intimate images of rock legends like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and all the biggest icons of the 90s. And we get to put on our flannel shirts and Doc Martens shoes and hear all about it right now on LatiNation.
Sessions is presented by McDonald's.
I'm Chris Cuffaro. I'm a photographer / director. I'm known for my music work. That's where I made my name. But the fact is, I've done it all. I've been shooting for 47 years now, and I've done it all. I've done fashion, a lot of entertainment, the music thing, fine art. I mean, basically, you cover an area, I've done something in it in all these years. I took pictures of my first concert when I was 16 years old and fell in love with music at a very early age. And so, next to photography, I would say music's my passion. And then what happened was I moved to Los Angeles when I was 21, thinking I was going to be a fashion photographer. But that quickly changed when I found out this was not the place to be. So I then jumped into what am I going to do next? And for about a year there, I had no idea. And then one day it clicked, and I was just like, hey, I could do music. And then it started from there. My style is, okay, so growing up as a kid, my heroes were Richard Avedon, Irving Penn, and David Bailey. And if you look at their work, and they were masters, the best of the best. And if you look at their work and then look at my work, you'll see where I stole it from. For me, once I started shooting music, it was amazing, because all of a sudden, you know, these people I saw on stages, I was with them, I was hanging out with them, I was backstage with them, I was getting free passes, I was in the pit taking pictures. You just became part of it, and for me, being part of it was just kind of like I always say, the high that I got from it was just being there. And then I think in '85 or '86, I shot George Harrison, you know, the Beatles, and that alone was. Then I knew I was doing the right thing. Then I knew I was doing the right job, and I knew I was shooting the right people, because it was George Harrison. So all of a sudden I'm doing pop, and then I see this freak of a band in Jane's Addiction and going, oh my God, whatever this is, I like it. You know, you just go like, oh my God, who are these people? What planet do they come from? And so I shot them, and then that set me down this path of, oh, something else is out there, and especially in Los Angeles, the Chili Peppers. But it was the Seattle thing that happened to me weirdly was I shot Soundgarden for Spin Magazine in 1989. And that photo, just meeting Chris Cornell and everybody was just like really cool. I was like, and I loved the record Louder Than Love. And I was like, this is really good. But I just remember like getting that first exposure to Seattle. This is before it blew up, so like it was really kind of raw, and I went out every night to see bands play. It was really like a real family atmosphere. While I was up there, I called a manager of Nirvana and I said, are they around? Do they have any time? And he said, yeah, they got tomorrow off. So he ended up setting the first shoot up with me for them. It's the shot where you see them in the alley. I had Kurt sitting on the dumpster, and then, you know, Dave and Chris to move in tight, basically. And those pictures became the official publicity photos for Nevermind. So basically, 3 years ago, I decided to do a project. I needed to do something big. So the idea was I was gonna come up with my greatest hits. So this catalog I put together is what I call the greatest hits, and it's 100 photos of black and white portraits shot for about 30-year period, and it's all film. I didn't want to have anything included that was shot digitally. And the idea I wanted to do was to celebrate, that's why it's called a celebration, was to celebrate my love of music and photography. My goal is that years from now I'll have Greatest Hits Volume 2, Greatest Hits Volume 3, color. That's what the project's about. It's just about celebrating 30 years of music photography.